At this Shanghai shopping mall, Lu Heng is testing out China's new digital currency. It's safe, convenient, and it works, he says. Paying with digital yuan feels similar to WeChat or Apple Pay. You use your mobile phone. Less tech-savvy people can get a credit card-like card, but the digital yuan isn't a payment system. It's actual money. The digital yuan is issued by the central bank, just like paper notes. It resembles cryptocurrency in that it's computer code and is stored in a digital wallet. But unlike crypto, eCNY is tied to the Chinese government, fixed to the physical yuan at a rate of 1-to-1. Physical yuan is hard to track. The digital yuan is meant to allow the government to keep an eye on money flows. It can also be programmed, for example, to expire to encourage people to spend. Those controls don't worry Lu, who thinks the digital yuan offers greater privacy than China's payment platforms. That means the new currency could pose a threat to companies like Tencent and Ant Group. My personal information and purchasing data is already in the hands of big tech, he says. Shops that use WeChat and Alipay need to pay processing fees. The digital yuan is free. And at the mall that Lu and I visited, you could pretty much buy everything there with digital yuan. If you want to get an entire outfit from the Burberry store, you could do it with digital yuan. But I think the true test is really going to be when and how Beijing allows international transfers, because that could be potentially destabilizing. Guys?
Right, and Eunice, international transfers is sort of besides the point, right? Because Bitcoin has really emerged as an asset class, not something to be used to pay for things yet. The digital yuan, though, it's interesting because its primary purpose is to pay for things. So in that sense, how could this be a threat to the US dollar? Isn't it just sort of a way for the Chinese central bank to more keep tabs on its population?
That's one potential goal of the Chinese government. But another goal that people talk about here is that the Chinese government might want to really digitize the entire economy, have the entire economy run on digital yuan as opposed to the physical yuan. But in terms of the digital yuan really being a risk to the U.S. dollar dominance, it's not really seen that way here, mainly because the digital yuan is more of a mirror of the physical yuan. It's like a surrogate. So it still comes under and is expected to come under the same controls that the physical RMB is under. So no, free trading or anything like that. In that way, that could really make it difficult for the renminbi or the digital renminbi to challenge the U.S. dollar dominance. That said, there is something that you can do with the digital yuan that was kind of interesting, because I can actually transfer digital yuan to someone else with or without an internet connection directly if I wanted to. And that's if both people have a digital wallet. And that's something that is kind of being talked about here as a bit of an end around for U.S. sanctions in case, for example, you're a Chinese official who might have some issues and not want to have the U.S. government see all these transactions that run through the traditional, SWIFT and financial system. So that is potentially something that could happen, but a lot of big questions right now about the digital yuan.
Eunice, I find myself with this, as with many things when it comes to China's system, when it comes to tracking, horrified and fascinated at the same time. This seems to be the opposite of what's happening with crypto over here. This is a super centralized currency for people who trust the government but don't trust companies. Also, this idea of an expiring currency. I wonder what would happen if the U.S. were to put out stimulus with an expiring currency that made it hard for people to save it. Would people trade it for less money that they could save? Would it really stimulate the economy? So many questions.
So many questions, and something that actually is being discussed worldwide. I mean, China isn't the only one that's talking about having a digital currency, and there are a lot of people here who follow the digital currencies and said that this is something that other countries should be doing. And, privately they say that probably other countries would want to do that so they could have full visibility on transactions of their citizens and of criminals. So there could be potentially
you know, some good uses for this. But at the same time, China, because it has such controls here over the financial system, might be in a much better place to be able to roll this type of system out in a more successful way than other countries.